All right. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for coming to our Career Readiness webinar. Our very own Taylor Bingham with Services and Career and Employment Services is going to just walk us through, how to get a job and keep it. So here's Taylor. Oh, I'm sorry. Before we begin, if you will put your student ID number in the chat, I will get you entered for our drawing for a $25 gift card. And then if you have any questions throughout, feel free to add it into the chat or the question and answer. And I will, if Taylor doesn't notice, I will make sure that she notices it. So there we go.
Perfect. All right, just let me know when you're ready to record and I'll dive in.
You're good. We are going.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the red button at the top, so I was making sure that we were good. Oh, it's recording. Or it says, yeah, cool. I was like, is it recording? Is it not recording? I wanted to make sure before I
Thank you.
dive. Hi, everyone. Like Miranda said, my name is Taylor Bingham, so I am the coordinator for Career and Employment Services. And what we're going to talk about today is career readiness, so kind of how to get a job, but also, and more importantly, keep the job. So what we're going to talk about today are these 8 different things and what they are, how we can practically implement them, all of that fun stuff. So let's go ahead and dive in. See, like I said, we're going to talk about the specific 8 competencies and then practical ways that you have done it in the past, and then also how to implement it into your career in the future. So what you might be asking is, what is it, right? You might be like, okay, cool, you're going to help me keep a job. Great, cool story, but what even is career readiness? So what it is, it's the attainment and demonstration of requisite competencies that broadly prepare college graduates for successful transition to the workplace. Okay, a lot of words, right? So the people that developed this, it's called NACE, the National Association of Careers and Employers. I'm sorry, of colleges and employers. So they did this big O survey, okay, took tons of data from all these different, areas of study or areas of work and got tons of information. And they asked all of these employers, what do you want your graduates or the people coming into your organization to be able to do? These are the themes, these 8 things are the themes that emerged from that data. So you might be saying, okay, cool, I can do my job, but like, why do I need these things? Why does this even matter? So we're looking at the difference between a hard skill and career readiness. So like I said, they asked tons of employers across the nation from different fields. That's engineering, that's, healthcare, that's, construction, industry, health, all of the different things, scientists, whatever that might be. Doctors, any kind of profession, there's a bunch. But it's different from the hard skills that they need for each one. So I looked at hard skills for cashiers. So a cashier, some of you might have done this before, that would be like working, just taking people's money, like receiving payments by cash, check, credit cards, answering questions, helping customers find the location of products, issuing receipts, greet customers, and entering establishments. That's going to look a lot different from a ton of other positions, right? Say you are, working as a front desk person and you're answering phones, you're making appointments. That looks a lot different than the hard skills for cashiers. But if we look at career readiness skills, demonstrate personal accountability and effective work habits, able to work in a team, exercise sound reasoning to solve problems, leverage digital technologies and accept new technologies, identify your personal strengths and weaknesses. Sound very different because these ones on the left side of your screen will change depending on the job. These on the right, they will not change ever. They're needed in every single job, which is why NACE took data from different employers all across the country from different fields. So no matter where you're going, no matter what your major is, no matter what you're studying or wanting to do, we have to have these career readiness skills to successfully transition into the workforce. So now you might be asking, okay, great, I know I need these to successfully transition. How do I do it? Have I ever done these before? What are they? So I'm going to go through all 8 of them. So number 1, so critical thinking and problem solving. So according to NACE, this is exercise sound reasoning to analyze issues, make decisions, and overcome problems. Well, Have you done this before? Most likely. So you've most likely done this on projects, homework, any kind of take-home assignment, right? You ever been given those assignments? It's like, hey, take this and apply, right? You're analyzing whatever issue they've given you. You're making a decision with how to do this. And then you're also overcoming the problem you've been given on your class assignment. You might have also done this if you've worked in the past before. Say you have a problem with a customer or a client or somebody that's come in, or you're having a problem. You have to use your own reasoning to look at it, make a decision, and then overcome the problem. Employers are looking for this skill and they want you to demonstrate it. So how do you do this later in the future? So when faced with a problem, don't balk from it, or even just like, you can't ask your supervisor if you have extra questions, but try to analyze the problem and overcome it on your own. Try to analyze, make the decision. And if you have questions, most supervisors are happy for you to ask, especially while you're still learning a new job. But employers are wanting you to be able to use those critical thinking skills and solve problems on your own, with maybe a little bit of help, or if you're on a team, which we'll talk about teams in a little bit. Let's go ahead and dive into number 2, oral written communication. So articulate thoughts and ideas clearly and effectively in written and oral forms to persons inside and outside of the organization. So I want you to be able to communicate no matter what field you're in, right? I have a lot of students that they're like, hey, I like my major because I don't have to talk to people, right? And they enjoy that. Well, most likely you're going to have to still work with people even in those fields. But you have done this before, which is encouraging. So you've maybe taken public speaking, or you might have taken a communication course if you're getting an associate degree. I think one's required. So you have done this, or even talking with a friend. Have you ever, been at work or in class and you're trying to explain your class to somebody outside the organization? That is this, right? So practice how you communicate about, your major, what you're studying in your classes, what you're doing at work. Practice speaking with someone in your class and outside of your class to communicate clearly, succinctly, and easily to them what you're talking about. For example, say you are a computer science student and you are wanting to communicate to your friend about some big coding assignment that you've done. Well, try to put the language in something that they would understand. If you're talking to somebody else who's in your class, you can use different language or communicate differently because they know what's going on in the same project. But employers are wanting you to be able to communicate with people inside your organization and outside. So practice it. Talk to your friends, talk to your family, and ask yourself, how would you explain this to a friend? And then use that technique. Next, teamwork collaboration. So the individual is able to work within a team structure with diverse individuals and can negotiate and manage conflict. When have you done this? Remember those group projects that you've had to do most likely in class? This is why. This is what your instructors are trying to teach you with those group projects. And I know nobody likes group projects, but employers want you to be able to work on a team. So it's one of those things like no one really cares much for them, but they are vital for your success in the workforce after college. So this is why you've done lots of group projects. And I know you can probably all name a few that have not gone the way that you've wanted them to. But in the workplace, we can't really have that. You still have to work together, even though you may or may not like them. So make sure that if you know that person in your group that's not great or you can't stand to work with them, don't be that person, especially in the workforce. Work with the team and then manage conflict within the group. Say you are in a team, even in the workforce. Your employer wants you to be able to be in that team and manage the conflict of either one person not doing their work or something happening. So you've done this before. In all of those group projects you've done in college, or in the future ones you have, you'll be like, oh, this is teaching me a valuable skill. I don't like it, but I can do this because it's going to teach you that career competency of teamwork and collaborating with other people. And we'll touch a little bit more on this one whenever we get to professionalism and work ethic, but make sure that you are not being the person that you don't like in the group project. All right, next is managing digital technology. So leverage existing digital technologies ethically and efficiently to solve problems, complete tasks, and accomplish goals. So when have you done this? You did this most likely all during COVID-19. Pretty much all of your classes changed. Every type of technology you were using might have changed. You might have found new technologies, new things that you were doing, and you had to adapt to finish your classes or to, finish high school or your classes or your work or whatever you might have been doing. You've had to do this before in some way. You've had to demonstrate that you can look at different types of technologies to solve problems and accomplish your goals and complete your tasks. So how do you do this in the future? So whenever there's a new technology that's introduced, adapt and use what you know, ask questions, use the technology tool to the fullest of its abilities, and don't balk from new technologies. I don't know if y'all ever met anybody that, when something happens that, we have a new technology, hey, let's use it. And it's like, I'm nervous, right? I'm nervous about this technology. Well, I encourage you, continue to learn. If you have questions, watch videos, how to use this technology, best tips and tricks and practices. That way you can implement it and keep growing with the technology. We incorporate this one especially for those that can be hesitant toward technology because it's becoming such a valuable part of the workforce that it's something we have to continue updating and changing and moving forward with. So learn more, find out more information about the technology you're using, new or old, and use it as a tool to help you solve those problems and accomplish those goals. All right, now we're under leadership. So leveraging the strengths of others to achieve common goals and use interpersonal skills to coach and develop others. So leadership, you may not think you've done this, but you have. So ask yourself whenever you've made sports teams or done activities or even group projects, like when you're in that process of asking, okay, who's good at what? Right? Even I remember in high school, okay, great. Who's a good artist or has good handwriting, who can write well, or who can do X, Y, or Z? Awesome. You get to do that part, right? And then you divide and conquer by doing what everybody can do what they do best. That's leadership. That's what that is. And you can do that in sports. Hey, who is good at this specific thing? Who's good at throwing the ball? Sure. Not so much of a sports person myself, so I'm let's try. So who's good at throwing the ball? Who's good at catching the ball? Who's good at running with the ball, right? Putting these people in these specific roles so that way they can do what they do best. That's leadership. And then using those interpersonal skills to coach them and then help them do even better at those roles. What's your part on this, right? Your part is knowing your own strengths and how to communicate about them, and also knowing the strengths of your teammates and saying, hey, didn't you tell me that you were awesome at this? Or yeah, I'm really good at this, I can help with there. But taking that initiative and not just saying, oh yeah, I'm good at that, but I don't want to say anything. Take that initiative, own it, use that confidence to own what you're good at and help develop the team. Next, we're going to talk about professionalism and work ethic. So professionalism and work ethic, I've actually spent full 30-minute hour conversations on just this one competency, but we're going to break it down into this just little segment. But what this is demonstrating that personal accountability and effective work habits. So being on time, working well with others, time workload management, understanding the impact of nonverbal communication on professional work image. So what this is, so when have you done this? You've showed up to class on time, managing your class as well, being accountable for your own work. Also taking initiative for your own work, right? So say something happens with technology, instead of just sitting well, I'll just wait, see what happens. Doesn't fall under professional work ethic, but going out, emailing your instructor, emailing somebody saying, hey, this is what's going on. Let's make sure I can do this on time, and managing your own work by yourself rather than having to have somebody say, hey, did you get that project done? Or hey, did you do this? But taking that initiative, doing this yourself, and having that personal accountability for your work and your work habits. So how to do this in the future? So be on time, if not early, for work whenever you enter the workforce. And be careful on social media. So this is one that I always like to mention here. So a part of this professionalism work ethic is that last part of the sentence. Understand the impact of nonverbal communication on professional work image. So understanding that wherever you go to work, you will then be representing the company, wherever that might be. So being careful on your social media accounts, who's following you, making sure you're representing at least a professional image in the workspace and outside the workspace, both places. And then also managing your time at work well. And we're all guilty. We've been at work every now and then, take 5 minutes to check Instagram or, make a phone call or something, but making sure we manage that time well. Where it's only 5 minutes, not, oh, dang, it's been an hour and I've been on my phone for that long. Not very good in a workplace, especially not in the workplace. So making sure you have that professionalism, work ethic, career competency. And lastly, next to last, we're number 7. We have one more after this. Global intercultural fluency. So valuing and respecting and learning from diverse cultures, races, ages, gender, sexual orientations, and religions. And when have you hopefully done this? Make friends with people that are different from you. Look for people that are from different or from diverse populations and see if they want to be your friend, or ask them about themselves and see what different kind of culture or lifestyle that they come from. And then how you can do this in the future. Continue to do that. Make friends at work and have coworkers that are different from you and bring them to the table and learn how to work with them and value and respect your differences and see that you all bring a different strength to the table, right? So if we look back at leadership, we're talking about looking at everybody's strengths, and those can be work strengths, but the, different strengths that come from diverse cultures and diverse populations can also be strengths that can be added to a workforce or to a team or even to a group. So keep making friends and bringing others to the table that don't look like you. And then lastly, this is our last one, number 8, career management. So this is being able to identify and articulate your own skills, your strengths, your knowledge, and your experiences relevant to the position, desired and career goals, and identify areas necessary for professional growth. So what this basically means is being honest. Who you are, what you can do, and where you need to improve. So it's who you are, what you can do, and what you need to improve. So being honest with yourself and managing your own career and being proactive to manage your own career. So when have you done this? I know you've most likely been asked the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? Right? Hey, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be, a welding student. I want to, do welding. I want to be in the medical field. I want to help people, right? Whatever that might be, you've probably been asked this question and had to articulate in some form or fashion what you want to do. But it gets a little bit even more in depth as we get to be adults, that being able to practice and communicate about yourself and what you're good at is a valuable skill, right? Standing up in that conversation like, hey, yeah, I'm really good at this. I am really good at that. Or, hey, I still need some work on this. Could somebody else hopefully do this in the team, right? So practice being able to communicate about those things. Well, then you might be asking, Taylor, I don't know. That's okay. You can actually come by Career Services and we can work together to help find those things that you're really good at. A good way to find out that on your own, ask yourself whenever, you have a family member or a friend, if they're like, oh my gosh, I have to go talk to this person about that. What is that thing? So if someone said, hey, Taylor, would you help me, edit my paper? Okay, I get asked that a lot. Maybe I'm good at editing papers, right? Put yourself in that same box. What do they ask you, right? What do they ask you whenever they need help with something, and what is continually popping up that they need help with? Those are most likely some of the things that you're really, really good at. But own it. Be confident about those things that you talk about. And it's not bragging. I get that a lot from students that I'm teaching to talk about themselves with confidence. It's not bragging, it's honesty and it's confidence. And both of those things are good, but it's confidently saying who you are, what you can do, and then even what you need to improve. And knowing what you need to improve and then working to improve that. So what we talked about today is we went through the 8 career readiness competencies and then practical ways to implement them into your life and into your world. So if you have questions, if you'd like to visit with us or even talk about how to communicate about yourself, let us know. We'd be happy to help you in person, video conference, or over the phone. So I'm ready to open up for questions. If you came in at noon, this is recorded And this has been posted so that way you can see it. But pretty fast, furious. I could have really like elaborated and I didn't. I guess I could have elaborated a lot more, but.
Right. There's no questions at the moment, but you are more than welcome to add any you have now. I don't know. I learned from this, so thank you for that. Yeah. Not seeing anything happening.
And if you have questions or even want help with these different things, let us know.
Yes, we will be posting this video so you can always reference back to it. You can see this page, how to get in contact with Taylor. You can ask us, we'll get you in contact with Taylor. But if you don't have any questions, I think we're good to wrap up. Thank you, Taylor. Appreciate it.
Did we get any? No? Oh, thank you guys. Yeah, appreciate your time. Y'all do have questions, let us know. Or if you'd like to come visit us in Career Service, we'd be happy to have you.